A family is calling for change after an in-custody death at the Shasta County Jail. We spoke with their attorney about a newly filed lawsuit. Plus,
and I have a fire hydrant on the corner. I have a sprinkler system. What gives?
a community member is expressing concern after finding out his home insurance policy was canceled, what he wants people to know. And new developments in bringing a sewer system to Paradise. We'll tell you about the progress being made.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
The family of a man who died by suicide in the Shasta County Jail has filed a lawsuit. He was 27-year-old Juan Moreno. The family says failures inside the jail led to his death. That is the allegation made in the lawsuit. And Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo is live in Redding. We're learning more about the circumstances surrounding Moreno's death.
That's right, Alan, and it happened here at the Shasta County Jail in January of last year. According to the lawsuit, Moreno was suffering from mental health issues and did not receive the level of care or monitoring his family says was necessary. His attorney says those failures that is ultimately led to Moreno taking his own life while incarcerated.
The issue with some of these facilities, including Shasta County, is that there is just a complete disregard for the safety of certain inmates, particularly inmates with mental health issues.
The lawsuit alleges Shasta County of negligence and says the county needs to do more to protect vulnerable inmates. The Moreno family says this case is about accountability and preventing similar deaths in the future. Now, we reached out to both Shasta County and the Sheriff's Office for a statement, but they said they would not be willing to comment, citing the pending lawsuit. Live in Redding, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
Thank you, Jesse. Now, the Moreno family says that they hope this case brings attention to how mental health emergencies are handled inside local jails. Shasta County has reported 5 in-custody deaths since January of 2025. New at 6, the Shasta County man who pleaded guilty to child sexual assault will spend 35 years to life in prison. Ryan Dalton pleaded guilty last month to several charges, including 2 counts of lewd acts upon a child under 14. He also admitted that the crimes involved violence. Dalton received the maximum sentence. New developments now. The Oroville religious leader accused on several counts of child sexual assault was found guilty and now faces a life term in state prison. Sansu Vang was convicted today of 8 counts of child molestation and 3 counts of rape. DA Mike Ramsey says Vang is the founder, creator, and leader of a Hmong organization based in Oroville. And each of the victims was a member of Vang's organization when he assaulted them. He'll be back in court April 14th for sentencing. New developments now in Oroville Hospital's Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. Action News Now has learned that February 11th, this Wednesday, there will be a hearing on a motion concerning bidding procedures in which the court will consider proposed procedures for running the sales process. We told you at the end of last year that the facility and its parent company, Oro Health, are working to facilitate a sale, but say that they want to preserve the hospital's services. Operations are continuing as usual during the process. Now a look from earlier today at conditions in Paradise. Not a bad day earlier today, and through other parts though of the region and looking up now, of course it's dark and getting darker, but we've seen a little more cloudiness as we were expecting some changes coming our way, Howie.
The high pressure ridge is broken down. We saw some clouds yesterday, little bit of some rain. We're seeing clouds now, but on the dry side, but that is going to change overnight tonight into Tuesday morning as storms head back our way. So we're seeing some clouds right now. We saw some good peaks of sunshine as well, but for now, on the dry side until further notice, which means overnight during the early morning hours of Tuesday, the rain and the snow will move back into the area. And we're going to talk all about that in a bit. Here's a look at our temperatures. So we're cooling down a little, still close to 60 in parts of the valley. The mountains are in the 40s at the moment. Winds have been really the biggest news. We saw winds gusting to 25 to 30 miles per hour today. Coming down a little bit, but still quite gusty. That will take till overnight before these winds go away. And one last look. Winter weather advisory again, an indication the rain and the snowstorms are headed our way, Alan, which we'll talk all about in a few minutes.
Thanks, Howie. New tonight, the future of home and business insurance remains uncertain here in California because of wildfire risk. Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa shows us how your fire risk score could make or break when it comes to the cost of renewal decisions.
Oh, I was devastated.
That was Brian Bickley's reaction to finding out the insurance policy for his home in Paradise was canceled.
Because I had a wildfire assessment score of 3. But when I got the insurance, my wildfire assessment score was 3 when they approved the insurance. Not sure what the discrepancy is.
Bickley says he's confused by the cancellation, not only because of where his home is situated, with a fire hydrant on the corner, but also because of all of the precautions that he's taken to protect his home from a fire.
My fire department is 0.9 miles away. The early warning system is 500 feet right over here, the big tower. And I have a fire hydrant on the corner. I have a sprinkler system. What gives?
The issue here is that his insurance company is joining several others in using what's called a fire score, determined by a tool called Fireline, and created by data analytics company Verisk. A home score, which can range from 0 to 30, is based on an assessment of vegetative fuels, slope, and road access. I reached out to Horace Mann, Bickley's insurance, asking what Fireline scores they will insure a home for. They responded with a statement that reads in part, quote, "Insurability decisions are guided by a combination of property characteristics, risk evaluation, and broader insurance market conditions." Bickley has since secured insurance with a different company at a much higher cost. Still, he says he's concerned for those who may not know that their fire score could be impacting their policy.
I just really want others to be aware of what I've gone through and double check their insurance policies, because you might get a call saying they're canceling. You might want to have Plan B in place.
In Paradise, Bea Barbosa, Action News Now.
Now, last year, the California Department of Insurance started to require insurance companies who use catastrophe modeling or factor in reinsurance costs in their rate filings to write at least 85% of their statewide market share in wildfire-distressed areas. Butte County is one of the nearly 30 counties in this category. Pacific Coast Producers announced that it is acquiring key Del Monte Foods assets related to its fruit business. It says a court approved the purchase of the canned fruit and fruit cup inventory after an auction conducted in connection with Del Monte's Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. It is expected to close by the first quarter of this year, and company officials say they are committed to maximizing Del Monte's assets and hope to provide relief to fruit growers impacted by Del Monte's bankruptcy. Tomorrow, Butte County supervisors will consider a roadside fuels reduction project focused on clearing vegetation along major evacuation routes. The work would be paid for using federal disaster recovery money tied to the Camp Fire. The board will also review a multi-million-dollar federal grant aimed at improving road safety countywide. Plus, they'll consider an agreement with 2 law firms to investigate whether antitrust or unfair competition practices by manufacturers may have contributed to higher prices for fire trucks. That meeting starts at 9 in the morning. The town of Paradise is moving forward with plans to build a sewer for the business district. It's considering the Skyway Crossroads just outside of town limits and Skyway South, also known as Media Way. Mark Maddox, Assistant Town Manager and Public Works Director for Paradise, says a town hall meeting will take place, or it should be a town council meeting will take place tomorrow to provide an update on the pros and cons of using either of those 2 sites. The town will also discuss preparation of a subsequent environmental impact report.
This is really critical part about our environmental process as part of the California Environmental Quality Act. And having 2 treatment facility locations that we can consider and analyze allows the community and the technical experts to make sure that whatever project is selected, including a potential no project alternative, that it's done so in a fully informed manner.
Mayor Steve Crowder says the sewer project would create a centralized wastewater collection and treatment system to improve public health, reduce reliance on septic systems, and protect groundwater resources. Maddox says funding comes from a $115 million community development block grant and disaster recovery funds. He says the town will begin a full public review period in mid to late April and seek public input on any potential sites before making a final decision. The Paradise Town Council meeting to discuss the sewer project is tomorrow at 6 at Paradise Town Hall. Some good news for Glenn County. Supervisor Monica Rossman says it's getting the wall that heals, as it's known. She says Glenn County is just one of 2 California counties that have been chosen to get the touring wall. The 375-foot long, 7-foot tall wall is the largest scale of the actual Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C., and that Glenn will have it on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day. It will arrive March 24th in an escort and will be open to the public the 26th through the 29th. New at 6, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife has finished planting its fall-run Chinook salmon in the Feather River. The department says that thanks to a surplus of healthy steelhead yearlings at the Feather River Fish Hatchery, it also has planted more than 6,000 steelhead at the new location this year, the Mile-Long Pond in the Oroville Wildlife Area. The CDFW says future stocking at the pond depends on annual conditions.